Hello everyone, welcome to a new process video today. I'm working on some more pictures from Prague, and today I'm working on the Spanish Synagogue. And this is kind of the opening page really that's going to give information about it. I've already picked out all the paper and the cards, I think. I reserve the right to change my mind, but I think I have them. I have this paper, I believe this is from Stampin' Up. I love this side too, but it's a little too wild for my design here. Oh, well, wait a minute. Maybe not. You know what? We'll see. I'm going to use this paper regardless, but which side maybe is up for grabs. And I've already printed out some info that I gathered online, and I'm going to cut this down so that it fits on the 6x8, and I will use that on there. And then I want to somehow have this, or I thought I did, in the background somehow, and have like the paper overlapping it. I'm not sure how exactly that would work. And then, I dropped my little phrase label. Here's the phrase label. I made it in Project Life. I just chose a brown background and wrote what I wanted in there and printed it. So it says standing in awe. So I want to include that on this side as well. And then for this side, I'm not really sure. I've got some dead space here, so I could include something there. I've also got some space here where I could stamp. If I stamp, though, it'll be in black to bring out this print, even though I don't have black really anywhere else. I think it would be okay because it would match the printout. So I took my information here and I cut it down to be 5x6 to ensure that it would fit on here and that it would still give me some room to maybe work in this blue card and the phrase there. And now I just have to figure out, do I want it to be on this side, which matches very nicely there, or do I want to go with the wilder pattern somehow, which looks kind of nice with this. If I went with this side, I'd really have to try to tone it down somehow, and I don't think that blue card that I had would work, but I wonder if I matted it in this blue, maybe, if that would help tone that down, and make it look better. So I'm going to go into my stash of scraps and see if I can find something that is similar to this blue, and we'll see what happens. When I went into my stash of scraps that I keep, I didn't find anything that really worked. This is just a standard 8.5 by 11. It's not the right blue. When I pulled it, I thought it was, but it's really not a navy that I'm looking for. It's actually more this color. When you look at those next to each other, and then you look at the colors in here on top of it, it's really more of like a peacock blue. So this is what's on the other side, which I had been holding thinking maybe I could use it for something. But I think since I don't have a plan for it, I'm going to cut into it. I'm going to use part of it and I'll just save the rest. Okay, so I cut down this piece of paper and I actually decided to use the side that, if you look real closely, it almost has like a silvery finish to it. And I thought that would work well because of these. These look like they're a little bit tarnished and worn, and so that color that's more prominent here is a little bit more faded, and I really liked the idea of that, so I decided to do that. Now I have to decide, do I want it this way, which now seems kind of flat and boring to me, or this way, which seems much more lively, colorful, that it works in more of that kind of Moroccan, Moorish, Spanish style design that it talks about in the info here. So I think I'm going to go with this side. And because this is busy and so is this, I think I'm actually going to place the white sheet with the info a little bit more toward the bottom to kind of offset that. And then I can use my phrase label up top. I have adhered the info sheet to the paper, and I have this on there as well. Clearly this is way too long, so I'm just going to cut off the excess here. There we go. Don't need that part. And there we go. And then I'm going to put a staple in there. And I've left a lot of extra because I think I may also pull some enamel dots or some kind of small embellishment that I can overlap right here in that space. So I wanted to make sure that I kept that in there. And already just looking at this, I like it better than the flat yellow. Now, having said that, I do think though that I am going to do some misting on here. And I have two choices. I have this from Tattered Angels, which gives this kind of bronze color. They call it light rosewood, but that's how it comes out. But I feel like maybe it'll blend in too much with the door there. Or I can just use my standard Heidi Swap Color Shine in gold, which will bring out a little bit of this if I sprinkle it around. So I think I'm going to try it on the back of this one first and just see. Oh, I thought it was blue on the back. It's a white. I decided to go with the Heidi Shine Gold, and it's a little hard to see it because this is such a highly patterned paper, but there's some there's some down here on the white, there is a little bit along the sides. So my hope is that when it dries and it's inside the page protector, you'll be able to see that a little bit better. It does show up better on this blue. So you can see I did get a fair amount there, and I really like how that turned out. So I think gold was the right choice. So really I'm just waiting for all of that to dry so I can put those in the page protectors and then see what I want to do after that. While those items are drying, I decided to take a look at this side, and I think I'm actually going to cut down this photo. This is just dead space. It doesn't align perfectly across the way that I took it. So I think I'm actually going to cut this down a little and then just back it on white cardstock, and then it will help bring out the white on the other side, and it'll add a little bit more visual interest to this side. All right, I have my scratch piece of 3x4 white cardstock that I already had ready to go, and I'm just going to cut this down, and I think I'm going to go about here just so that I'll cut off that part that didn't align well, and then maybe a little at the bottom just to make it a little bit more even. Let's see, a little bit more square, and then I could just attach it like so. And I must have cut this slightly larger. I've got a little bit of an edge there, so I'll cut that down to make sure they match. But other than that, I do like it, and it leaves me room where if I did it off center, I could still stamp. Okay, I cut down the cardstock to make sure that it was even width here, and now it is. And then I did do it a little off center, and I chose to do it centered more towards the top because when these pages are next to each other, that phrase label that I chose is going to be up here. I didn't want any stamping I might do to be directly across from that. So if that's up here, then having stamping here would be okay, and I could still stamp here if I wanted to. So for this area right here, I've decided to stamp, and I'm going to use this stamp here that says remember this. Kind of hard to see because I've used this one a lot. It's very discolored, but it says remember this, and I like it that it's more of a script font because this is, you know, very traditional, nothing special about that font. Neither is this. This is all caps, very formal, whereas this breaks that up a little bit and just makes it a little more visually interesting, I think. So I'm going to stamp that in black, and then I still may do something here. I just don't know what that would be. I did my stamping. I did a test run just to make sure it was going to look okay on a scratch piece of paper, and it went fine. So I did it here, and I love it. So that part is done, and I do think I want something here. I don't know that I want to stamp directly on here though, so I think I may look at some phrase labels that I have maybe and see if there's something there that I can use. I do actually have Gold Brilliance ink that would look similar to this, but this is such a light background, I'm just not sure how that would come out. I could try it, and if it doesn't work, I can reprint and try something else, but I don't know. Still thinking about it. I decided to go ahead and try the Brilliance Galaxy Gold ink, and I used this stamp set, and it doesn't say where it's from. I think it's probably a Citrus Twist one. I thought it was Kelly Perky at first, but it doesn't say her name, and they usually do, so I think it's Citrus Twist. And I used this one that says Highlight, and it smudged a little bit at the top, but that isn't enough to make me redo it. So I'm just going to let it dry and then put it in the pocket. And then I think this one is probably done, with the exception of I was going to do like an enamel dot or something. So I need to see what I can find. I'm thinking black, just because then it would bring all of the different things together, the stamping and the info here, but we'll see. I did add in one black enamel dot, and those are from Studio Calico. So luckily I still had the packaging, so I know that's where it came from. And this one is done. So I don't think it really needs anything else. I don't want to overwhelm it. And that paper's pretty loud, so I think I'm going to leave it as it is. So here's another one done for Prague. Thanks for watching, everyone.